Do US immigration officers have the power to decide how many people can become asylum seekers? The current presidential administration thinks so, but a new case the Supreme Court just agreed to hear could change that. If you've been following the headlines at any point during the last 10-15 years, you know that immigration is one of the most hot-button topics in American politics. But today, we aren't arguing over national security or human rights. We're just going to be examining the context leading up to this Supreme Court case. We'll let you form your own opinions from the facts. Let's get into it. Under United States federal law 8 U.S. Code 1158, any alien physically present in the United States can apply for asylum within a year of arriving in the United States. Asylum is a status the US grants to people who are escaping harm or persecution due to race, religion, nationality, or political opinion in their origin country. The main conflict here is that the law requires you to be inside the United States already before you can apply, but a practice called metering stops people before they can reach that point. The paperwork is mandatory in order to become a legal asylum seeker, and you have to fill it out within America's border. Right now, US border agents are turning away potential asylum seekers at the border before they get a chance to officially apply for asylum status. This is what started the legal battle over whether or not the federal government is breaking Title 8 of US Code. Some experts argue that metering denies asylum seekers the ability to exercise their right to seek sanctuary under federal law. Now, this practice isn't new. It began under President Barack Obama in 2016 at certain points of entry and specifically targeted Haitian asylum seekers. The next year, it was expanded border-wide under the Trump administration. This continued until COVID, when in March of 2020, all asylum seekers began being turned away at the border. Once Biden was elected, he fully repealed the practice of metering until June of 2024, when he reinstated it due to overwhelming applications. Biden suspended all asylum applications when there were more than 2,500 a day and delayed processing of applications until the average fell to 1,500 a day. Interestingly, Trump also attempted similar restrictions in 2018, but was blocked by federal courts. Now, cut to today, as of December 2, 2025, there is now an indefinite pause on all asylum seekers at the US-Mexico border. Now, in 2017, 13 asylum seekers and an immigrant rights group sued the Department of Homeland Security on this exact issue. They won their case, and the DHS was denied an appeal. Then, in 2024, the US Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that federal law requires border agents to inspect all asylum seekers who arrive at designated border crossings, even if they have not yet crossed into the United States, and the metering policy violated that obligation. In other words, showing up at the border legally counts as arrival under the law. But the current administration disagrees. In July 2025, it asked the Supreme Court to review the case, arguing the law only applies once someone physically enters the United States. If arrival requires touching American soil, then turning people away before they cross is legal. But if arrival includes presenting oneself at a port of entry, then metering, and the current ban, violates federal law. Which takes us back to last week. The Supreme Court agreed to hear the case, with a ruling expected by June 2026. And that's about all we know for now. Their decision next year will fundamentally affect how the United States treats asylum seekers in the future. According to the Refugee Advocacy Lab, 2/3 of voters do think the United States should have a refugee program that helps bring people seeking safety from dangerous places. But of course, many of those who agree on that issue disagree on exactly what that should look like. I'd like to think we can all agree if we are going to have a system to help refugees escape danger, it should be orderly and respect the dignity of all the human beings involved. This video was researched by Katherine Barota. If you want more independent coverage and analysis on US news, geopolitics, and other interesting topics, there's a playlist on screen. Thanks for watching.